All right, so if we're being honest, I don't know where to start. I got the Readwise API, or at least the piece I need, excuse me, in a ChatGPT. Got to reduce that down to 4.0 because I don't think I really need 4.5. And yeah, so I don't know where to go from here. So, okay. So, what I think I should do is just go for it. You just say, start with, yep. I'm gonna move this down because I don't want anything to force it to. As you know, my preference is to save Supabase until as late as possible. So I'm not going to say anything about a user quite yet. So I think I'm going to remove this off this side and then say, and start working on this right here, which is go to this side. Say gray page should be split to two different sections. It says, oops, I already have this written down. I don't know what I'm doing. We can move all this to the side because we don't need the API right now. We're going to need in a second when we import the highlights into this curate area. Right now, we're going to go ahead and just tell it. Should be pretty easy. So one of the things that people do generally that I've seen, at least when I'm helping people in like Discord or Twitter or wherever or Reddit, is they're trying to combine too many things. For me, I take it slow. And the reason I take it slow is because it's easier to see what has changed and what it messed up when you take it slow. When you start adding two or three things, four things, five things, 10 things, people have really long prompts. And I'm like, yo, don't do it that way. Do it simply so that you know where it messed up. And also you decrease the surface area it has to mess up when you're going through and you are configuring the application in a way that like makes sense. So in this case, it would be like the curate page would be split into two areas like to do and done. So you would have it kind of like created this way. And this is how it'll sit. Okay, so something happened. Okay. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move the highlights so that I don't like how it has images. I think that's taking up too much space. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna move the images from the highlights and also remove the images from the uh, that is beside the curated by text. Yeah, because I mean, it's not that kind of social media. We don't need them to have pictures of that. So I don't think it's necessary for curators to have their images, pictures featured. Again, we want to create a better user experience in terms of a reading experience, not in terms of a social. So I don't think we need to see pictures up here. I think that's going to take up one. Also, from a data standpoint, from a database standpoint, if we have images that need to be generated for every single highlight, that's just going to add too much weight. One, we'll have to use OpenAI. That's going to cost money. Two, we're going to have to store the images in the database for every highlight. That's going to cost money. We don't want to do any of that. Let's go ahead and move that out of the way. I saw that earlier and I was like, I don't like that. Um, so we like this is gonna have to be a really clean application for it to make sense. So we're gonna remove some of this bit real quick. So we know that we don't need the share button here. So we're gonna remove that on page. You can remove the share icon. Also, that the highlight wraps or that highlight card is wide enough. How about this? I'm not going to wrap it. I'm going to say make it so that the highlight card can include, can be 3 lines and can be up to, how many words is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5 across right now. 15 words across. Truncated. So we're going to move so we're going to move the share icon completely. And then we're going to adjust the space on that. And then after that, we're going to tackle this save button. Because we're going to have two buttons. One's going to be curate, and the other one is going to be skip. still located on the cards on the curate page. Now the cards are weird, so this is why you only change one thing. Because I saw that the cards were weird down here. I didn't think that really had a bearing. Five words are visible to the user before the card gets truncated. All right, shoot. This is gonna be tough. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to solve this in 18 minutes. All right. I don't think this is solved, but let's move forward because I have a feeling it'll break later, and that's when we'll see it. All right. So that's the comment, I'm assuming. All right. So now we're going to say on the curate page, add and only on the curate page because I saw over here these are moving backwards and forwards. The highlight cards should have a button to skip, and one to curate for each highlight card. And then I'm going to also do the function right now. So when the user elects to skip the highlight, it disappears from the page. When the user elects to curate the highlight, it moves into the done area. Then I'm going to remove that option so that it doesn't confuse itself. So highlight cards that are in the done area of the curate page do not have the buttons to skip or curate on the card. Okay, so sometimes I say reductive, or sorry, not reductive, but repeating statements because I'm really trying. It's like having a child, right? You kind of repeat yourself like multiple times, but in different ways to make sure that they get the point. And so I do that sometimes when I'm talking to Bolt, and I found that sometimes it's an exercise in futility, but other times it actually comes in handy because there are things that I'm saying that are kind of complex and I'm not sure how to say it in natural language programming. And so what I do is I just repeat it in different ways and hope that it gets the picture. And because I'm not technical, so I'm not sure how to explain it to a computer. So I just say it multiple ways. So what should have happened is this. So you saw that it was repeating things in this recent highlight, the same thing on the curate page, hoping by saying on the curate page and only the curate page. Yep, so that happened there. Now let's see if it happened over here. Okay, skip and curate. All right, so hmm. Okay, so make the highlight cards in the curate page wider so that it can accommodate the comment, skip, and curate buttons easily. I'm also gonna, I mean, this is gonna confuse a little bit, but I want to have it when when a user clicks curate on, on a highlight card on the curate page, have the animation be that the word curate, oh, sorry, the check mark in the curate button slides over the words curate disappears and a beautiful animation of the check mark happens before the highlight card is moved from the to do area down to the done area. All right, so essentially we're just trying to make it, like that's probably sounded kind of weird. I'm talking through what I'm thinking, but essentially what I'm trying to do is make it so that when someone clicks the button, it really like lets them know that it's kind of like it's not a moment of delight, but it's kind of a, hey, you did something that's actually pretty cool. And so we're going to have a cool, hopefully, hopefully we're going to have a cool like thing that we do. Okay, so that widened out. Cool. I'm going to work on that later, but like that doesn't matter. Okay. When a on the curate page, when a highlight card moves from to do area to the done area, there should be a beautiful animation of the card sliding down into the done area. Okay, so I'm not sure how this animation is going to work because I'm basically nesting an animation because there's going to be one of the curate. So after the curate animation goes, I'm hoping it'll slide down and not as the curate animation is happening, it slides. And since it slides, it disappears those two buttons, it would disappear that animation. So it's going to look super clunky, if not break. Because, yeah, I'm being a little too ambitious. It's actually weird. I didn't like how. to 500. In there. Why did it say it had 500? Nah, that can't be right, right? Ocean div. Did I read that wrong? It said 200? 200. I wish I had a 500 near it so that I could. 0.5. Oh, right here. 0.5 duration. 0.2. So if I wanted that 0.8, that worked. I don't like that. It's like weird. Can you make the animation of the blend a little better going from to-do area to the done area. There it goes soon. All right, let's see if we can do this real quick, and then we'll probably do a couple more things because I kind of want to a degree, like start see if I can pull in the highlights, and that'll be the last thing. See, I don't like that. Why does it look like it's? Told you it would be weird because I'm like nesting. Okay, so how do I explain this? It is going from to do to done area. I'm not going to talk this part. I just need to kind of figure it out. Like 5 minutes. I really wanted to do the see if the Readwise API would work before we step off. Okay, remove the animation from to do area to the done Yeah. Yeah, it's not working. I don't like how it feels. It doesn't look great. Look, and based on what this says right here, it looks like it's going to do it anyways. Oh no. What was that? I think what's happening is it's sliding everything. Okay, so what about this? Okay. When a highlight card is moving from to do area to the done area, animation happens where the previous, where the current top position of the done area slides down, and then the new highlight card from the to do area. All right, let's test that out because I think what I saw is that it's doing some weird stuff. And when we include the highlights from Readwise, hopefully it'll work. Um, I just thought about this. We're going to have to hard code the API integration for a little bit because what will happen is that I don't know if you saw this, but up here or on the Readwise, it's going to cross their access token. And in order to do that for every person, it means that we have to set up Supabase because the access token probably needs to be tied to their login or user ID. Sorry, their access token needs to be tied into their username. And yeah, so we're gonna hard code it for now, and then we'll have to replace it later. Better. Oh my gosh, it's so much better. It didn't slide, but that'll do, big. That'll do. Okay. Okay. We're going to use the Readwise API. Here's the link to it. Also, I have attached pieces of the API as a PDF. We need to now work on the extraction of highlights from a user to test functionality. The highlights that are extracted using the Readwise export highlights function means that when highlights are extracted, they should go to the curate page. It's complex ask. And on top of that, I'm going to add a PDF. So that's a complex ask that I just gave it. But I kind of don't have a choice for what I want to do now. Okay, yeah, I don't really care about that as much as it probably thinks I should. And it's 12:01, so it's midnight. So I'm gonna start packing up. Hopefully this will run. It's gonna need my user token in a second. Hopefully it'll set up an env file, and I can input that there. Yeah, so you saw how hard it was, maybe in this video or a previous video, of not hard, but just kind of tedious it is to copy and paste a API. So probably pretty soon. Okay. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna hide this for a second, so bear with me. So I just want to see if it'll work. All right, good news. It actually did. It was that easy. So what we're gonna do is we need to make it so that it only pulls in the last 50. Okay, so make it so that when a user is getting is having their highlights exported into the application is only showing the highlights that have occurred in the last 24 hours or the last 15 highlights. Whichever one is more. This will make sure we don't overload API or our application. First time. And I'm also gonna, because it did import, it came through here, shows everything I've been reading. Also, to the curate page. Also, what else did I want to say? This is too many highlights. Exported into the application. The next time that I'll to the should never again be exported from Readwise and imported into the application on the curate page. Should never again be imported into the application. Okay, so what I think could happen is that every time it opens, it can import the same highlight over and over again. So I'm basically saying like once it's imported into the application, it should never be imported again. Actually, I'm going to change that. Uh, when a highlight is skipped or curated in the on the curate page, the application should never show that highlight in the to do. Just don't want any duplicate highlights. Someone will notice that happen. It's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie right now. That's pretty wild. All right, signing off. Let's see what happens next.